first, let me congratulate you because Desert Angel has been received very well. You showcased in Austin, Palm Springs, and really holding the name out there.
Thank you. It's really exciting. It's unexpected and very exciting.
That's good. So tell me about getting to know about Rafael first. I was reading up on it, and you first heard about it because of a friend's dad going missing.
I actually found Rafa first through a newspaper article uh, um, while I was writing a narrative script. And I actually it's the Desert Sun out of Palm Springs, and I actually called the reporter, and I was like, I can't believe this man that I'm reading about. Tell me about him. And so we started to talk, and he put me in touch with Rafael, and that's how I first met Rafa. But once we started to make the documentary, I have a very close friend whose dad passed away while crossing over. Um, and so I asked my friend while we were filming, I asked my friend, years ago when your dad went missing, did you call anyone to help? And he said, yeah, I called this guy Rafael. And so it was just amazing. I was like putting all of these pieces together, how like Rafael had actually impacted my friend's life long before I was even going to know about him. It was really cool.
And what was your experience when you first contacted him and the reason behind it? How did he feel?
He just said, come down to the bus and let's talk. And so I drove down right away. And he actually like he had never met me, and he just like hugged me, and there was like so much warmth and caring. And that's just how he is with everyone. He treats every person with a sort of like dignity and respect that they deserve, and you can feel that emanating from him. But he's been doing this for 25 years, and I don't know that he was like totally excited about the idea of a film. And so I developed that relationship with him and his wife Monica for a while. And we were filming, but we were going out on searches and helping him as part of the team. And then eventually he and Monica said, we want you to be able to tell the story. And so we started to do the full film.
And what was your experience in seeing him in action out there doing, searching for people? And it's not also only like a physical job, but emotional.
Yeah, it takes a deep soul to be able to do this all of the time. And honestly, most of the searches he does end in disappointment. Like the border is so vast, and the terrain is so rugged. To continue to go out day after day after day. He does this every day of the year. Um, it takes a certain perspective on life. And I think that if he had only found one person over these 25 years, he still would go through all of that pain and suffering and time and money because he thinks that each person's life is that valuable. So it's very moving to be around someone like that. You get a perspective. I got a perspective on how I want to live my life, more like him, really like investing time and energy into places where it counts.
So he tries to be like optimistic with the families, but
Yeah.
he you cover him being conflicted, and I feel like he takes the negative and the pain first and tries to be a little uplifting to the family, but he's carrying it.
Yeah. He definitely needs to see a therapist.
Yes. And the
he,
saddest part is the guilt.
yeah. Yeah.
And watching your documentary, I mean, if you don't shed a tear, then you're made out of a rock because it was so sad. My eyes were like watering.
I mean, I've now seen this film like 100 times, and it still gets me. I think because of the power of the emotions of both Rafa and Indira, who is looking for her son, are just such deep human experiences and emotions, and they're really sharing deeply from themselves, and that's palpable.
Now, I'm really glad that you picked a story to follow, one in particular, the one about Rodrigo, um, Randeros. And because everyone just usually automatically assumes it's a Mexican crossing the border.
Mm.
But there's these people that are crossing more than one border.
Mm.
And the trajectory and the story about him was very heartbreaking and eye-opening.
Yeah, that story uh breaks so many stereotypes. For I think it will break stereotypes for people because I think that a lot of people in the United States have an idea of what a migrant looks like, and each person really has this complete backstory that's totally theirs and totally unique. And so what that story does, Indira is stylish and beautiful and could be shopping in Beverly Hills, and her son is this brilliant engineering student. And you know it I think that the importance of that is to say, like, don't jump to conclusions, don't stereotype, be inquisitive about other people and listen to them, and try to understand what they're going through, um, before we make judgments about other people.
And then also how bad in other countries it is. It was he was willing to take this risk and losing his life versus to staying behind, not even fulfilling his education, taken by a gang and probably losing his life there by a gunshot. Who knows?
When we filmed, parts of Arizona and parts of Texas with Rafael, the terrain is so difficult. I'm in pretty good shape. I run 5 miles every other day. I'm in the gym, and there were days where I was physically spent, and I was going to be able to go back to the truck and go back to our base camp. Um, it takes so much effort and energy to travel from Central America up through all of that territory, like you were saying, with all sorts of threats through Guatemala, Mexico, into the United States, that for someone to take on that risk, it must be that difficult for them that they're willing to make that journey. And that's another thing that I hope people consider when they're watching the film, is that these decisions aren't made lightly. People are literally willing to die trying to get here.
You used a lot of voice recordings from um, people from in the desert calling, seeking for help. That who's could possibly be the last call and hope for help. Can you talk about getting that? I'm assuming you got it from Rafael.
Yeah, those were really haunting for me. And all of those are Rodrigo's voice messages that he was sending to his mom as well. Those are the actual messages that they're sharing back and forth. And it's just haunting to listen to something that might be the last recording of someone's voice when they're in such a desperate situation. It's a real honor to be able to share those. It's a hard thing, and it's also, you know, it's honoring to the person, to share their memory if they become one of the ones who are lost.
What do you hope people take away from watching this film besides not stereotyping? Um, what can you say? I
You
mean, you
know,
mentioned that you even they feel like it changed your perspective in life.
Yeah, Rafa's getting to the age now where I don't know how much longer he'll be doing searches. And so he's looking for inventive ways to continue to help people. He's a mechanic by trade, and he's actually started to make prosthetic limbs for people out of parts that he buys from Home Depot. And he goes down and fits people, amputees in Mexico. And he's doing that. He told me once that if a woman washes clothes for a living and he can go down and fix her washing machine, maybe she doesn't have to cross the border, he counts that as a save. So he's thinking about, like, how can he help other people? And I think that's the main message of the film, is to look for ways that we can invest our time to give to other people and make, people's lives better.
Wow, he has a heart of gold.
Yeah,
He
he
definitely does.
does.
Wow. Will he be at Santa Barbara?
He's going to be there for the daytime screening. It's February 11th at 12:20 p.m. He'll be there. The first screening is pretty late at night. So I don't know if he'll make it there, but he'll definitely be there, and we'll be ready to talk to people and engage and share.
Great. Well,
But
thank
if he gets a phone call, he's gonna leave and go do a search.
He'd be like, priorities. I gotta stay
Right.
alive.
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you for your time and connecting, Vincent. I will be covering Santa Barbara, but I'm only gonna be there for the evenings,
Okay.
uh, um, press lines. So that's why I was like, well, do you have something? Are you doing anything the day before, prior? But maybe you guys end up walking one, and I get to see you guys. That would be great.
But
Have
yeah, let's do that.
Rafael have his experience, another one. And maybe he finds another angel out there that wants to be a part of this.
Exactly. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much for having me on and taking the time to talk and sharing Rafa and Indira's stories with
of
everyone.
course.
It's really such an important time to be doing that.
Yeah, no, thank you, and congratulations with your documentary,
Thanks.
and thank you for the tears.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye.